Ah, shit. This episode of the BRG podcast has been brought to you by our patrons. Here at BRG, we'd like to thank those patrons who have subscribed and donated. It is because of generosity like yours that makes this show possible.
On this episode of the podcast, we pick up where we left off from last week on some pretty interesting news. We also talk about Microsoft's change of heart when it comes to what you get for the Game Pass, and Kirrok is pretty damn desperate for Final Fantasy Tactics to come back. Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to another episode of the BRG podcast with your host, WarpedJester, that's me, and my co-host in the frozen north,
Kirrok. Hi, guys.
How's it
Welcome
going,
back
Kirrok?
again. Great. How are you, buddy?
I'm warm.
Warm?
I've got my new Slinket onesie.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's great.
I'm a little chilly. Yeah.
No, it's wonderful. I look like a big green Oscar the Grouch, which is good because I'm pissed off.
Why are you pissed off?
Because there's dumb shit going on in this goddamn world.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Have you heard about the fucking Tide Pod Challenge?
Yeah.
Jesus motherfucking Christ,
You mean
kids!
these things?
Look at this. This is a fucking pod full of fucking chemicals to clean
It's
shit.
basically poison.
Do not put this shit in your mouth, you dumbasses.
It's stupid. It is absolutely stupid.
God fucking night nurse, you're a bunch of fucking boneheads.
It may smell good, but trust me, that will eat your insides, and you won't. If it's
He's actually
God-
hollow on the inside. He knows.
God forbid, but if it's something that you do ingest and is fatal, it's not something you're gonna die in 2
If
minutes.
you look at the back of the fucking
It'll be
package, it
days
says,
of pain.
if swallowed, consult doctor immediately.
Yeah. No, do not.
Anyways.
You see these? Leave them alone.
We're not here to tell you how to run your life. We're actually here to tell you all about wonderful and intelligent gaming news that's going on in the world, as well as some other news, topics, and tops and whatnots. We're also going to be talking a little bit about Microsoft tonight because they just announced that if you're a Game Pass person, you're going to get all the new goodies right off the hop.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that more in our speed bits. Rated N for Nope. Are you looking for gratuitous violence, gratuitous gore, gratuitous commentary, or gratuitous running away? Well, have I got the show for you. Head on over to twitch.tv/RGBRG, that's ARGYBRG, and join RG as she goes through Let It Die and shows you how badly she can play.
Hey guys, welcome back. So let's get into the speedy bits today. Here we go. We're starting off with Minecraft sales hit 144 million. Mojang boasts of 74 million active monthly players. That's pretty big. The news comes, it's crazy. The news comes just weeks after PUBG eclipsed the total PC sales of Minecraft. Despite this, though, Minecraft's success still shows no signs of slowing. You know what? I honestly thought it was slowing, and I was a biggest Minecraft fan. Last official figure was 122 million copies sold as of February of 2017. So that's a year ago almost. That works out to be about 2 million players a month. That's up from prior years by 1.7. That's crazy.
People don't like them games, man.
Well, Minecraft is popular, and keep in mind, too, it's a really popular game, not just through adults, but kids. And kids, you can put them on it, they'll have fun,
Kids
safe.
have fun,
you don't have to worry.
educational, it's all kinds of things.
So,
I agree with you. Also, apparently fun
I'm
is
a
to
big lover of it.
have giant battles in space, provided these servers can actually handle it. So,
Yes.
you guys may be familiar with EVE Online. We've talked about them before and some of the epic battles they have, and there was an epic battle that was shaping up for a pretty big $1 million battle. We're talking like the calculable losses were going to be tallied at $1 million worth of lost ships and damages. That said, it came up. Well, it came up a little short. Actually, the total amount of actual battle damage actually tell it up to about about $4,000 US.
4,000 US, yeah.
Yeah, the biggest blame was actually put on the servers. The servers literally just could not handle it. This was a wage war between two warring factions of I don't even remember how many ships, but long story short, it fell short, and they're saying it's server issues. And to credit for the company that owns Eve, they have said that we hear you, we are working on it, we are going to do what we can to help support these bigger type endeavors. So hopefully they'll fix it.
I really wish, though, that they'd release Eve as a VR game. Because you know why?
Why?
Because World of Tanks is now coming out as a VR game.
Hot damn.
World of Tanks. So
something we can both get excited about.
Yeah, I know, really, eh? World of Tanks, Upload VR reported this. World of Tanks developer War Gaming announced that it's forming a new arm of business in partnership with a company called VR Tech. Basically, the partnership will bring World of Tanks, the World of Tanks series, to headsets for the very first time. This is awesome because who knows if it's the tanks, it might bring the ships, it might bring the planes, because as you know, they have those other ones. And so this is coming. Well, they haven't really announced the date, but hopefully coming soon to a VR headset near you.
You'll have a lot of options to make yourself sick to your stomach. Awesome.
Oh, yeah, I know.
I've got a strange feeling. There's not a lot of details about this, but you have to remember they have World of Tanks for PC, World of Ships, World of Planes, but they also have the Blitz series of these games for mobile. So there's Blitz Tanks. There's also now Blitz Ships. So I'm wondering if they're going to VR, like, the actual
Blitz.
full game for PC, or if they're going to, VR the Blitz.
Oh, yeah. I actually played the Blitz for a little bit. It was fun. It was actually really good.
Well, there you go. There's always something going on, right? So a little transition to tech news here. Extreme Tech is reporting that there's a new exploit for the PS4 that may curry some favor amongst gamers, as it will allow them to actually run ubiquitous code of their choosing, meaning, basically, long story short, they found an exploit, and now you can do things like backwards compatibility for PS2 games.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah, this is one of those things. This is I believe it's a Stack Overflow error. But basically, it's just you're finding a way to cheat the system to make it run arbitrary code that normally it wouldn't run. And this gives you access to the system, and from there you can use it for exploits, which is not a great thing, or you can use it for things like doing jailbreak. This affects the kernel 4.05 for PlayStation, and basically as it stands right now, there's the ability to do this. You can run arbitrary code. We'll kind of see where it goes from there. This code this was found actually by Spectre and by Team Fail Overflow that found this. Now, to be fair and to be kind of a little bit cautionary, Sony has had a habit of going after hackers in the past.
Yeah.
Please see George Hotz versus PlayStation back in 2011. But that said, it curried Sony a metric shit ton of bad PR pulling that. So I'm not really sure they're going to do anything about this now.
Gotcha.
We'll see.
Well, keeping on with the tech news, and maybe the PS4 is a good option instead of waiting for that video card you want.
God.
GPU prices more than double as cryptocurrency craze accelerates.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Bitcoin.
Yeah, this is crazy. Basically, with the cryptocurrency mining, bringing heavy demand for the hardware, video cards from like NVIDIA, say the GTX 1080, have jumped from prices of around $700 to about $1,350.
Almost twice.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Double over.
AMD Radeon's RX Vega 64 tripled from $500 to $1,500. That's nuts. If you're building a PC, it makes you really want to just dump the damn thing and go out and buy a PS4.
Here's the thing that kills me. Is that you had NVIDIA release a statement saying, basically a nice statement to their distributors saying, hey, guys, come on. The gamers are what's important to us, right? But I think that's more of just get off the hook kind of a thing, make themselves look good. The fact is they're breaking a metric boatload of cash because of this. But in the end, it really kind of sucks because it's going to have more of an impact on us, not only immediately, but down the road. The immediate is, oh my God, we can't do fuck all now for gaming rigs. You're actually being advised to buy a pre-built because they can get better deals on the GPUs. It's actually cheaper to buy a pre-built than it is to make your own now. That makes me feel horrible. And more importantly, to keep in mind too, if people can't afford the tech, then software down the road gets hampered because they have to hold off on their iterative generations.
Yeah.
Because there won't be hardware there to support it. So literally, we will see a stall in the visual capacity of games. So if that doesn't depress you, how about YouTube blowing shit again? But at least this time it's not the gamers getting fucked. Okay. Yay!
Tell me.
So in our media news section, we got here is YouTube decided to include a non-distress. I'm kind of pissed right now. It's a non-disparagement contract with their music people who are signed on to YouTube to distribute their music. And basically what it boils down to is these artists are signing this contract. And since it's very rare to hear about this until just recently, we're assuming it's also an NDA that's part of this. But basically YouTube says, we're going to cover all of the costs of your video production and marketing costs. However, you can't say anything about us or our parent company. Yeah. I'm going to go with a big giant fuck you.
Damn.
Yeah. Happy thoughts.
Carrying on with this is Valve. Valve says it has final say on DMCA takedowns regarding Dota TV. So this is reported by TechSpot. ESL, formerly known as Electronic Sporting League, struck an exclusive deal with Facebook to stream their esports event. And what ended up happening was, because of that deal, Dota fans were not happy about it and ended up turning onto a few people that decided that they would host the stream through their own Twitch channels with commentary, which is actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then some of these Twitch streams were getting more views than the official Facebook streams.
And not just a little bit more either.
No, a huge amount. 27,000 versus 3,000 on Facebook. So ESL then issues a DMCA takedown notice during one of the Genting 2018 tournaments. And Valve steps in and goes, hello. Is this the only one who can? Okay, wait. Basically, they were saying that you can't do this. We're the ones who own the game, so we're the ones who can support or decline a DMCA claim.
Now, this is a little bit hard too, because I didn't watch the actual streams. I don't know what exactly got covered here, but the critical point here is Dota is owned by Valve. That means Valve has the right to pull DMCA. Nobody else does.
Yeah.
The ESL is using Dota for their championships. So the actual event is the property, if you will, of ESL. But the person is doing the restream. If they're just restreaming the game capture, then ESL has got fuck all rights to say anything at all. Now, if he's doing the whole gambit, and you're seeing cash shots, you're seeing commentary from them, audience shots, studio basically, then yes, they could get in there and cause a havoc. But basically, it was Valve stepping in and saying, you know what? Fuck off, dude. We're happy you're using our game, but don't piss off the fucking people that watch you. You're dumb doing that. Right. So, anyways,
no. Yeah.
So, Duke Nukem, the movie. Yes, there is a movie.
Come get some.
And it turns out they've picked somebody who is going to be the main character for the Duke movie.
And his name is John C.
Oh my God.
That's all I gotta say about it. Is I just want to play that video clip because, and his name is.
All right. So, in other news, and keeping on with the KFC fun we've been having,
Oh God, I love KFC so much.
KFC is selling a chicken wing box that doubles as, get this, a drone. This is reported by Engadget, and KFC has been one of the most creative fast food restaurants in recent, time, because we've had them basically put out to market really bizarre things, really bizarre stunts. One of them, and this one I didn't even know of, was a chicken flavored nail polish. Gross. A nightmare VR work experience, or a nightmare or whatever. The one we covered once. What?
What if they had like chicken flavored Tide Pods?
Oh shit. Finger looking good.
Don't eat those things.
The other thing was a phone charging takeout box meal. Remember we covered that? It
basically
would have a battery and charge your phone. But now there are select locations in India area, in India, that they will be selling chicken wing boxes or meal boxes that basically turn into a drone. All the parts that are necessary to make it work are there in the packaging, which is kind of cool, but kind of a drag that it's only in India. I'm not going to fly out there.
That is a drag. You know what's even more of a drag?
What?
Seeing the inevitable end result of Planet of the Apes coming.
Oh, God. What?
Scientists have cloned monkeys.
Oh, yes. That's right.
There's it. Here we are.
So what you're saying is we don't have anything to fear from AI.
No. I'm saying when AI finally fails and eradicates all of us,
monkeys will take over.
Yep. There we go. Anyways, that's our news. As odd as it is, we'll go ahead and be right back.
Okay, guys.
Welcome back. It's me, Kirrok. Glad you can make it for another game releases. Hey, we got some games coming your way, so hold on to your seats. And your first game is on January 30th. It is Dissidia Final Fantasy NT, an exclusive for PS4 action role-playing and fighting game. To be fair, this game was out in 2015. It's a port over from a Japanese arcade called Dissidia Final Fantasy. In this version, though, they're focusing on 3-player combat, and you can choose from a range of classes such as vanguards and assassins to marksmen and specialists. It's really not a game that we haven't seen before. It's what we've grown accustomed to in the Final Fantasy series graphically. It's not really my kind of game, but I'm going to rely on you guys to tell me what you think of this game. Just a quick mention, for January 30th, we have Striker's Edge. It's for PC and PS4. It is a Towerfall meets Dodgeball. Basically, it's a really colorful game, very simple type game. The premise is simple. If you've ever played Dodgeball, you can play this game. It's basically the court is split in two and people start shooting things at each other. When I watched the video, the game looked like a good time killer. I don't know if it would be something that I would play for very long, but I'd probably give it a try. And on February 1st, you have Battalion 1944. It is a Steam early access game for the PC. It is a World War II first-person shooter. So this is a World War II first-person shooter, but they tout that this is a game going back to the competitive roots in that genre. You can play 5 versus 5 on detailed maps with weapons that are a bunch of different varieties from that period. Really, really cool. To be honest, of all the games I'm showing you today, this is the one that most caught my eye, only because it looks like a remastered version of the original Call of Duty. I know it's not, but it just reminds me of that. I think I might just pick this up if it's supported on Mac. And your next game, also on February 1st, is Final Fantasy XII, The Zodiac Age. This is for PC only, and it is a role-playing game. All right. Are all these Final Fantasy games starting to look the same? I mean, they are to me. Yes, they put you on these grand, epic adventures that you're tasked to save the world. But don't get me wrong, I'm all about story. I love story. That's the best thing about games for me. But if you're in this thing about rehashing all your games, Square, can you pretty please, with sugar and a cherry on top, re-release Final Fantasy Tactics? If you do, I'll suck your. And your last game, also on February 1st, is Tangle Deep. This one's coming out for PC only, and it is also a role-playing game. Another RPG, but this one looks beautiful and full of character. The 16-bit visuals is what gives the game a charm that makes you feel like you're about to embark on a huge adventure just waiting to be discovered. You can experience rich turn-based gameplay as you explore dungeon after dungeon. I mean, this is the kind of game that I could get into and I'd love to see on the Switch, but I have many unopened games that I just still gotta get through. Ha! And that's it, guys. That is the end of another game releases with me, Kirok. Guys, I really appreciate your time. I really enjoy doing these, so when you take the time to put those eyeballs on the screen, it makes me feel really good. Thank you for coming, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.
All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get into the main topic. Tonight's topic is going to be all about Microsoft's announcement regarding the Xbox Game Pass. And this is interesting. Now, I'll be honest with you. I am a little bit out of my element here because, as you guys know, I am not a console person. But luckily for me, he is.
Yes.
Hello,
guys.
I'm going to... We're going to go ahead and talk about the article that kind of brought this up. And then I'm going to kind of turn over to Kirok a little bit to kind of talk about some of the more meaty bits. And then we'll wax poetic about where things could or should go. But speaking of the article itself, the article, this one's actually from .esport. And basically what they're covering is that Microsoft announced that the Xbox Game Pass will get immediate access to Xbox exclusive releases. Now, there's two kickers about this that are interesting. The first one is that as soon as the exclusives come out, you have immediate access if you're Xbox Gaming Pass subscriber or a Gold Pass, Diamond Encrusted Swarovski Crystal Pass, whatever the fuck it is.
Gold.
And they're permanent titles. They're persistent titles. They're not going to be rotated out. So going forward from here on out, you are going to have any new Xbox exclusives will be immediately available if you have Game Pass and persistently available as long as you're paying for the Game Pass, which is pretty interesting. Now, explain this to me, Kirok, because I want to understand, because there's actually, it's not, Game Pass is one thing, but then the Xbox Live Gold is something else.
So something completely different.
Help me understand the difference of these two.
So basically, what they have is what they've had for years is the Xbox Live Gold, which is the service that they've been offering. Okay. Actually, if you're an online subscriber to this subscription, you can actually go in and check and see how many years you've been in. There's a little number that shows it. I'm like 10 or 13, I can't remember. But
really?
Yeah, I'm not kidding. I started on it when it first came out on the original Xbox. And so the Xbox Live Gold, well, people might say, well, how much is it? I think it's Canadian, it's like $69, but US is in real money, it's $60. And so it's a year. You could pay monthly if I'm not mistaken, but it's a year payment, and it gets you things like an online presence on their servers. The Xbox connects to that community of people who are all also online, and it gives you an avatar. It gives you the ability to send messages between your friends that you eventually put on your friends list. You have a way to manage your friends, text messages, voice messages, and also it includes usually per month 4 to 6 free games that as long as you continue to pay for that Xbox Live Gold service, those games can be part of your library and you own them and you can play them. You can download them and do whatever. But once you stop paying that, then you lose access to those games.
So these are persistent games you get access to.
Yeah, persistent games that you get access to. Okay. In other words, you own them, and it's kind of like a perk for paying that $60 for the year. And usually those 4 to 6 games are between Xbox 360 and some on Xbox One, so you get a range. Okay. And you also have the ability to stream directly from your Xbox on their now new platform, or not so new platform, Mixer, which used to be Beam.
Oh, so, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Kirok remembers that.
You remember that. Yeah. So basically, that's what the Xbox Live Gold service is. Looking at the other service, go ahead.
I was going to say, so in addition to that, then there's Game Pass. Now, Game Pass is a monthly pass. There's no annual things to it. Now, what's the difference between Game Pass and Gold?
So Game Pass is their newest service, which is not, it's a monthly service. So they call it Xbox Game Pass, and it's $10 US a month. I checked, it's actually $12 Canadian. And this new service is akin to having access to a library of games that are all online. In other words, it's a streaming service for video games, just like Netflix is a streaming service for movies and TV shows.
Okay, so this sounds like it's, if I understand this correctly, this is one element of what you get with the gold.
Yeah.
Gold...
no, the Game Pass is not something you get with gold.
Oh, okay. Hold on. There's a whole nother bag of worms then. Because you're saying with gold, you get access to certain select titles, but that's it.
Yeah. They put certain ones for 1 month that are available for you to download, and if you download them and keep paying that $60 a year, you kind of technically own them and can play them anytime. Where Game Pass is a system where you kind of like Netflix, where you look at a list of games and go, which one would I like to play? And as long as you're paying $10 a month, you can play, stream it, or you actually have the ability to also download it so you can play it in full fidelity. It's funny how they make it a big point where they're like, download and play in full fidelity. Because something I want to talk about a little later is what kinds of things can affect it. So for that $10 a month, you basically get streaming access to over 100 different Xbox 360 and Xbox One titles. Again, the option to download and play in full fidelity. And also, you get the ability, if you decide you like a game so much that you're just streaming and playing, and you love it so much that you want to buy it, you get a 20% discount on that game and 10% discount on any DLCs for that game. So you could potentially purchase a game permanently, digital download, obviously, and get it at a discount price, which is pretty cool.
Okay.
So cycling happens. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, so to be, again, forgive me, guys. I'm novice to this. I don't understand. So basically, for the news release they've talked about, with getting these new titles, their Xbox exclusives, immediately and persistently for Game Pass, does that not qualify people who are on gold?
No, as far as I know, this is a separate service you have to pay for online.
So I
when they
pay
say
for the gold
first
account
party,
and then pay for Game Pass.
Correct.
Okay.
Because they say in this particular article that you brought up, first party exclusive will be available day one and not cycle off the game list.
Yep.
They will stay on as permanent games, but still technically it's not the same as gold in the sense that gold is, well, I guess it's very similar to it, but it's still separate because if you decide to buy it, you can get that 20% off.
Yeah.
Although we were looking at a list earlier of what games are considered first-party exclusives. It was actually a list.
There is a list. Before we get to that list, though, I want to talk a little about this. Though, 'cause first of all, I want to get kind of your thoughts. You've already said you're an Xbox Gold person, and you have been for quite some time.
Yeah, I've been on the Xbox Live system for quite a while, and I actually prefer it. I'll tell you if you want some comparisons to PSN, but go ahead.
Well, we can get to that later. But yeah, I mean, the aspect of paying for this Gold account and having those 6 games, have you paid for Game Pass?
Sorry, say that again. You're breaking up.
Have you paid for Game Pass?
No, I have not paid for Game Pass. I didn't look at it as something I would want to get.
Okay, so but would you be willing to pay $10 a month for this?
After having gone through it a little bit more in detail, it does sound pretty decent, but I have a few reservations. For example, if it's a streaming type service, what if your internet connection is really crappy? Mm-hmm. Now, they kind of offset that with the ability to download and play the game in full fidelity, but what if your internet's crappy, or what if you have a cap and you're going to download a 50 gig game or a 60 gig game? That doesn't make sense in my opinion, right?
Oh, that is a good point.
So, sorry, what was that?
But that is a good point. And I think one of the things, though, is that when it comes to the aspect of streaming a game, that still an odd idea to me, first of all. The idea of streaming games over the internet, just, I want to say it feels weird. Of course, then again, we play a lot of connected games nowadays, so I'm not sure how much of a departure that is.
I think it's one of those things that once it starts getting a foothold, people will go, oh, it's not that bad. Oh, it works. And the quality's pretty decent. So I think it'll win over. And as time goes on, internet packages are getting better, hopefully. And so I think that's a concern I have that'll probably be squashed soon, like a few years later, you know? But yeah, that's one of the things. But then I was looking at this and looking at Xbox Live Gold and thinking to myself, they're very similar, but not exactly the same. But why have a separate service just to get that $10 extra out of me? Why not combine Xbox Live Gold and Xbox Game Pass and just make it Xbox Live Gold and it has Game Pass built in, but the price is $10 more? So it's all in one.
I think part of that is because it's a lot harder for people to swallow a $70, $80 price tag.
Right.
So I mean, there's that issue right there. Another big issue, I think, is the aspect of people kind of like modular pieces. They can kind of mix and match the elements they want. So
True.
A little bit from column A, a little bit column B, a little bit from there. So there is kind of that aspect. Now, why they're doing it this way, I can't say for certain. They may have other reasons than that. I don't know. But nonetheless, the services are there. And when I first saw this article, my immediate thought was, this is pretty freaking cool. Because we're talking about having not only immediate access to brand new titles that come out, but persistent access as long as you're paying for the service. That's kind of cool. And I would suspect that they're probably going to pretty quickly expand this to have a wider breadth of options. And this is where I want to start kind of getting into where this could go. Now, one disclaimer, as Kirrok noted, there is a list that shows you all of the currently existing Xbox games. And you'll notice up here at the top here, it says green yes means exclusive to Xbox One. If we go down the history of this, you'll notice there's not a lot of, there's not a lot of green yeses here, so to speak. So
right, exactly.
The amount of titles come out as Xbox exclusives. And again, what they're saying is going forward, any new Xbox exclusive titles will be available to you immediately and persistently. So,
which is kind of nice. I like that.
Well, again, that is nice. But if you look down this list here and to see the history, it doesn't mean you're going to get deluged with a whole bunch of brand new games. You know, they seem to be a little bit far and few between, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
So that's a bit sparse. Now, beyond that, the Xbox Game Pass, they say it gives you access to over 100 different titles. And from my understanding, the titles can ebb and flow. Titles will drop off and come on. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's interesting because I think that's actually a pretty strong point because there's going to be a number of the games out of the 100-ish games that they place on the streaming service that will regularly cycle out. And in a way, that's cool because as long as you're paying $10 a month, you have exposure to new games that you may not have even wanted to play before. And you might go, what's on tonight? Let me try this and play it. And and then if you don't like it, who cares? It's not something you spent $60 on or $80 on, and let it fall off the list. And then another game comes and you kind of, in a way, could save money because you're getting a wider gamut of games that you can play without going out and actually having to buy each of them.
Yeah, and that is a perk. And this is just like, I think it was a GameFly, where you could rent games, online ordering, they send you the disc kind of thing. So it is a great idea. Now, again, when I see a system like this, and I see $10 a month to month, that's it, that tells me there's gonna be the ability, and most likely something's gonna happen in terms of broadening that. And a couple of concepts that could happen. One is they can expand the amount of games that are available. So now you've got more than 100 available. You got 200 available. They can expand what types of games become available to you. So that, if you pay $10 a month, you get Xbox exclusive titles immediately. Oh, but if you pay $14 a month, we'll give you immediate access to all new games coming to Xbox immediately. I think something like that. there's a lot of things they could do to definitely flesh this out. My curiosity is this the tip of the shadow of what's to come in terms of console gameplay, especially with all the huff and cuff about games cost too much to be $60 a game, that the price needs to go up, or the fact that games have to find alternative means to pay money or to gain money by doing in-game purchases, DLC, loot boxes, etc. Could this have an effect on that?
Yeah, I could easily seeing it affecting this. I mean, think of it in terms of Netflix and what it's become. Netflix used to be strictly streaming. Now they're actually making Netflix original TV shows and movies, and they're getting big actors to come in and do stuff like this.
Absolutely.
What if this turned into something like that, where they get developers coming in and creating specific exclusive games for this? Like, if it does well, they could potentially turn around and start doing it that way in the video game industry, in developing games, rather than it being just a studio that develops a game and then tries to sell it on different platforms, right?
And this is a means to get somebody in kind of on the cheap, and they could possibly do a lot more to it. So, yeah, I mean, so here's another thing to think about too. When it comes to the aspect of the way they're doing this, there's a lot more flexibility than even Netflix has. But there's also going to have a lot bigger impact too, because again, we're talking about a service right now that gives you temporary access to some games before they drop back off. And granted, games in console environments are a little bit different from games in PC environments, but there's a lot more crossover going on lately. And I don't mean inner gameplay. I mean things they're doing on PC games, they are now doing on consoles as well, because the games are a lot more similar. Back in the old days, early old days, you bought a cartridge, and that was the game complete. That was it.
Yes.
Whatever was on this cartridge is what the game was. That was all it's ever going to be. That is the end, period. We're done. That's it. Whereas PC games had mods, had downloads, upgrades. We started getting into DLC, which consoles started to get. We talked about loot crates, which consoles started to get. But you can think about the architecture of games for a minute here, and especially with the aspect of where games are kind of going, with additional DLC, with additional buy-ins, micropayments, loot boxes, etc. These architectures are great for games that you're going to pay an upfront cost for, that you're going to own the game, so to speak, and want to add to as you play it. This is not an ideal architecture for games that are not persistent, for games that cycle in and out. I'm not going to invest in a game when I'm going to play it for free for $10 a month, basically, to pick it up, play with it, but then it's going to disappear in a month, a couple of months, a week, whatever. Where did I catch this game in a cycle? Do I even know? Is there a thing on there? Hey, this game will be playable through X time. I don't know, but I'm not gonna. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna go
but
dumping.
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
So the whole game architecture that currently is kind of manifesting nowadays, with again DLC and all that, kind of goes out the window. If you have a pay for all you can eat monthly subscription, like a la Netflix style, but for games. So that could definitely, if this becomes a more common architecture, something that's a little easier, and quite frankly, to be honest with you, for as much as my son wants to play every single goddamn game he sees under the sun, I'm not going to keep shelling out every single week for multiple games for him to try that he may play, may not play. Saying, you know what, I can afford $10 a month, and he can play all the games to his heart's content. The games will be as persistent as his patience and as his attention. This is great for parents. Excellent for parents. But for gamers, really good for that. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a you could look at it both ways. I think the more I think about it, I think it's actually pretty good in terms of what it offers. For $10 a month, I can play up to 100 different games. And if I don't like them, who cares? But if I like them, I can still buy it, and I can buy it with a discount.
Yeah, absolutely correct, and that may be a way to kind of teaser people into it. But it'll be interesting to see if this becomes something. And there's two ways to tell when it comes to the aspect of will this become something. One is, again, seeing them expand their portfolio, their access, their options. Not just change it up. Changing up tells me they're having problems. Expanding tells me they're doing well. The other is emulation. And what I mean by that is, if you see any of the big two juggernauts pick up this architecture, if all of a sudden you say, you know what, we're going to have a monthly all-you-can-eat game access capacity, and we're going to add in brand new titles instantly that are exclusives, things like that, that tells you this might be a way to go. And down the road, who else could take advantage of this kind of architecture? Who could, Kirok, very easily and very quickly adapt to this?
Sorry, you're breaking up, so I didn't catch that. Who is it that what?
Who could easily pick up this kind of architecture, say, for PCs?
Oh, Steam, for sure.
Exactly. What if Steam starts doing this?
Absolutely do something like this.
Steam both makes their own content, a la Microsoft Studios, Steam, and Valve Studios, but they also have a lot of other games, third-party games that can come in.
Yeah, this could absolutely work on there. Interesting. Food for thought.
Absolutely. So there you go, guys. There's some good thought for you aspect. And I'll be honest, when I first saw this article, I didn't think much of it. The more I thought about it, it's tantalizing because it is something that could be fascinating and very lucrative for both the people making the money, Microsoft, as well as for the gamers themselves. Again, as Kirok pointed out, it's the ability to sample a lot of games and be able to put some time into them to see what they're like and see if they're worth it, which is fantastic. Yeah. But as I said, it could be a complete change in how the whole gaming world works if it catches on. So it'll be interesting to see. I'd love to see your comments, guys. So please let us know down in the comments below. Give us your thoughts on here. Is there something we missed? Is there an element here that I'm just totally overlooking? Could this possibly be the next big thing? Who knows?
So far, I think we covered pretty much what we needed to.
Absolutely, we have. But nevertheless, I want to hear you guys' comments below. Let us know what you think. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell Kirok he's wrong. I don't care. Let us know. We appreciate it. We're going to go ahead and get ready to load out of here. So we'll be right back. All right, guys. We're at the end of another wonderful episode. And we had a little bit of technical difficulties. My internet's gone wonky. So I apologize if me and Kirok were talking over each other. It happens. Sorry. Yeah. Anyways, again, guys, I really do appreciate you sticking with us through this. I love having good conversations, especially on topics like we talked about tonight. And I really do want to hear feedback from you. So please make sure you do take a moment to say hi and give us a few thoughts of your own on the topic, as I said before. But
it's net neutrality. That's what it is. I'm kidding.
God.
I'm just kidding.
Kirok, my friend, how's the YouTube's doing?
YouTubes are good. Just have been posting up the Mafia 3 stuff. That's about it. Nothing more.
That's about it. And that's on your wonderful Twitch channel. Again, guys, if you haven't seen content from him on Twitch, you need to go over there. Apparently, just recently, he even went and showed you a little bit of how the sausage is made when it comes to doing the game releases.
Yes, I did.
If you want to check that out, I definitely encourage it because I haven't even watched that yet. I unfortunately missed the live stream of it, so I'm going to go back and watch this myself,
check it
to be
out.
honest with you. So
cool. Make
sure you check it out. All right. And beyond that, of course, Project Singularity, all the guys there, I'm assuming, are doing just dandy, right?
Yeah, everyone's good. We're just chatting through email. That's about it, really. Nothing major. I can't believe
you guys use email still. It's so weird to me. And Hop Along Games. You guys are up to 26 subs now. Kick ass on that. So we hit 25 marker. So we're going to go. Let's go ahead and just push up to 50. Let's do 50.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's what we're going to shoot for now. 50 is the goal.
50 is the new goal. We'll try to help you out with as much as we can. We're not exactly big fish here, but we try our best. Hey guys, speaking of us being small time fish here, why don't you join us? Because that makes us bigger fish. We appreciate that. We are a great community. We love hanging out with people. This is our meat and potatoes right here. We create content, have fun, hang out, do stuff, do surveys, do events, talk shit, talk a lot more shit, talk some more shit after that. We're a bunch of shit talkers, we really are. So definitely check that out. You can find us over, of course, at our wonderful website here. You're also welcome to check us out on our Discord. We have links down below for that. And, of course, since you're already here on our YouTube channel, might I suggest, if you are so inclined, to maybe give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the topics tonight. And if you appreciate what we talk about and enjoy that kind of stuff, make sure you hit the little subscribe button up there and say howdy doody to us. And every week when we come back and do this kind of stuff. And you'll notice we do have other content out now. We actually had a episode of Inside the Gaming Mind, which was done with my friend, my co-host, my buddy up north here. Also, we have another 2 already scheduled. So we'll be doing things like Linz, who is a leader at BRG Gaming, as well as NachoPandaa, who is a wonderful and fun entity on the Twitch channel. So you can check that out. Speaking of Twitch, guys, we do have a Twitch channel as well. Another place definitely worth checking out. We have 107 fucking followers on Twitch, man.
Me?
On Bar Rocket.
No. Bottle Rocket, yeah. Dude, Bottle Rocket on Twitch has just been busy, and it's awesome.
It has been. I appreciate that.
I see so many different members of BRG on there.
We do a lot of content on there. So, guys, definitely make sure you check that out because it's worthwhile. And, of course, last but not least, and probably most importantly, we do have our wonderful Patreon account. Again, a few dollars going our way helps us out a whole lot, helps us do a lot of fun stuff. Giveaways, events, etc. So if you could pitch a few dollars, we certainly do want to give you a thank you and everything up to and including a t-shirt depending on which tier you're at. So let us know and say hi and give us money and tell a friend and all that good stuff. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up here tonight. I got some gaming to do tonight, so I'm going to go do that. And Kirok, I guess we're going to be see each other next week. And speaking of next week, by the way...
What?
We're going to have the whole crew of Hop Along Games with us. It's not just Kirok, but we're actually going to get the other 2 cohorts you work with. We're going to have them on. So, guys, make sure you go ahead and go over to Hop Along Games on YouTube and go ahead and bone up on them a little bit before you see them next week here. All right?
Yeah, they're going to be on. It's going to be fun. I can't wait. Guys.
We will catch you next week along with Hop Along. Have a good night.
Good night. Bye, guys.